South Korea says it has halted the propaganda broadcasts it blares along its borders with North Korea. The South Korean Defense Ministry says the idea is to create a peaceful atmosphere ahead of the first inter-Korean summit in a decade, scheduled for later this week. Remember, South Korean President Moon Jae-in and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un are scheduled to meet on April 27th. It is the first time in more than 2 years that the South Korean broadcasts have been stopped. The broadcasts include news updates, South Korean pop music, and criticism of the North Korean regime. Broadcasts were halted in mid-2015, only to be resumed in January 2016, following North Korea's fourth nuclear test. Pyongyang has conducted 2 more nuclear tests since then. The North has its own propaganda broadcasts at the borders, but it was not immediately clear if those would be stopped. The world is anticipating complete denuclearization of the Korean peninsula after North Korea said on Saturday that it was suspending nuclear and missile tests and scrapping its nuclear test site, and instead pursuing economic growth and peace. We are joined by WION's correspondent Ramesh Ramachandran from Seoul. Ramesh, talk to us about the Trump-Kim meeting. What is at stake here for Trump and Kim Jong-un?
Well, the unprecedented summit meeting between Donald Trump of the US and North Korea's Kim Jong-un will be a meeting between 2 unpredictable, temperamental, unconventional and non-conformist politicians. But will it lead to a meeting of minds? That's the question confronting many South Koreans here in Seoul today, as they wait in anticipation for the inter-Korean summit on the 27th, followed by the Trump-Kim Jong-un meeting sometime in late May or early June. Now, some are saying that what Trump is attempting to do now is what Richard Nixon attempted in the 1970s when he traveled to Beijing for that unprecedented meeting with Chairman Mao, which led to rapprochement between the US and China. But at the same time, we have another young, brash communist leader in North Korea named Kim Jong-un, who wants to make North Korea into a big military power. At the same time, it weighs on his mind that the economy is not doing as well as it should, faced as it is with sanctions by the UN and the US. So clearly, from his perspective, Kim Jong-un would want to revive the North Korean economy, and many are saying that he wants to replicate or do an encore of what Deng Xiaoping of China did in the early 70s, when he unleashed economic reforms which transformed China into an almost capitalist economy and market-oriented economy. And so there are the strong parallels, people are saying, between what Kim Jong-un is attempting to do now and what Chairman Deng Xiaoping attempted in China in the 70s and early 80s.
Ramesh, tell us about the preparations which are being made for the inter-Korean summit on Friday.
Well, there's been a flurry of meetings here in the last several days in Seoul and other parts of the country between South Korea and North Korea as the officials prepare the ground or lay the groundwork for the Friday summit meeting between the 2 North Korean and South Korean leaders, President Moon Jae-in of South Korea and Chairman Kim Jong-un of North Korea. Now, yesterday there was another 3rd round of working level officials meeting in Seoul and in Panmunjom, where they discussed a couple of issues, including security, protocol, media facilities, to cover the summit live for the benefit of foreign media who are attending this summit. Also, today we're expecting the South Korean side to do a dress rehearsal on their own in Panmunjom, the peace village at the demilitarized zone, where Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in will be meeting on Friday. Tomorrow we are given to understand that's on Wednesday. The North Korean side will visit Seoul and the demilitarized zone for talks with the South Korean counterparts on the nitty-gritties of the Friday meeting, and also the North Korean side will hold a dress rehearsal of sorts from their side. And on Thursday will be the last and final rehearsal for the much anticipated Moon Jae-in Kim Jong-un talks on Friday. So there's been a flurry of meetings in the last several days, and we were given to understand that there'll be some more meetings between the 2 sides as the D-Day approaches.
Thank you, Ramesh Ramachandran, for joining us with those updates and perspective.